that we would like to discuss is the boundary conditions in magnetic fields. Boundary conditions in magnetic fields, right? Boundary conditions of the magnetic fields. Boundary conditions of the magnetic fields. So, just a second. Yeah. Hope that there is no infection. Okay. Yeah. So in the first part, when we studied the boundary conditions of the electrostatics, right? Electrostatics, it was very important because there were different types of materials, right? Okay, different types of materials, and the materials behave differently for electric field. Like we have a dielectric responding differently, we have a conductor responding differently. Whereas for magnetic fields, it is not so, right? All the materials, right? All the mediums, not I would not say materials, all the mediums, right? So that is whether it is a conducting medium or a dielectric medium. Okay, so that medium will definitely conduct magnetic field. Okay, the magnetic field or the magnetic flux will pass through any kind of medium, whether it is a dielectric or a conducting material. Okay, so that is why this is not of much importance. We generally don't take the magnetic boundary conditions. Why? Because the characteristics or the properties does not vary with the medium. Okay, whether it is conducting medium or dielectric medium, right? It is defined only with respect to electrostatics. For magnetostatics, right, every medium is same. Okay, that is whether it is a dielectric medium or a conducting medium, right? The response of the medium is same. Okay, so therefore we don't have much emphasis. Therefore we don't have much emphasis for the different types of media. Okay, yeah, 1 second. Different emphasis on the different types of media. Okay, but anyway, if the magnetic field is generated in one media, that can be conducting or dielectric, and if it is passed to another media, okay, that means that can be again a conducting media, a conducting or a dielectric. Okay, so we get only one condition, and that condition is when the signal is generated, when the magnetic field is generated in the first media having a permeability of mu1, right, and it is passed to another media which is having a permeability of mu2. Okay, so the magnetic field is generated in the first media having a permeability of mu1, and it is transferred to the second media having a permeability of mu2. Okay, so you generate it in mu1 and you pass it to mu2. Okay, so the flux is passing from mu1 to mu2. So what is the interface, or how the flow transfer takes place at the boundary? That's what we are going to discuss. So when we transfer the signal from a medium of mu1 to mu2, right, again the same thing happens here, right? So the for example, if I consider the h bar, that is magnetic field intensity, this magnetic field intensity can be decomposed into, the magnetic field intensity is decomposed into two components, namely tangential component and normal component. So if, for example, in the first media h bar is like this and it is going into the second media like this, let us assume. So this is the tangential component of the first media, this is the normal component of the first media. Similarly, at the second media also we will have two important components. One is the tangential component of the second media and the normal component of the second media. So this is the resultant h bar, h1 bar, resultant h2 bar. Okay, right? So we are okay. So the field is generated in the first medium having a permeability of mu1, and it is transferred into the second medium having a permeability of mu2. In such case, what is the yes, I'm adding. Okay, so what is the permeability in such case? In such case, in such case, how does the transfer takes place? Okay, so assuming h is the h bar is the resultant of two components, it can be decomposed into two components. tangential component and normal component. So H tan 1, Hn1, similarly H tan 2, Hn2. Okay, right? So now how does this transfer takes place? That's what the boundary conditions are. Similarly, we can also have the same thing for B bar also. What is B bar? Flux density. So flux density also, if it is, let's say, traveling from first medium to second media, right? In the first media, it can be decomposed into two components, B tan 1, Bn1, right? And in the second media also, we can have two components, right? Let's say Bn2, right? Normal component, and B tan 2. Okay, so tangential component, right? Okay, so right at the interface, one second, yeah. So at the interface, right, we have the component splitting it into like this. Now, what is the thing that is going to happen when this is the case, right? So in such cases, what we get is, right? So the normal components, first, if I consider the normal components, right? The normal components, right, will be divided like this. Okay, so Hn1 by Hn2 will be equal to mu2 by mu1. Okay, so the normal components, the propagation of normal components will be given like this. Okay, so the for the flux density, right, for the flux density, the amount of flux density that is transferred to second medium will be exactly equal to, right, the one that is present in the first medium. Okay, Bn1 is equal to Bn2. So you will transfer, right, all the exactly the same amount of signal from the first medium to the second medium, right? Similarly, for magnetic field intensity, for the field intensity, right, the amount of signal that gets transferred, right, will depend upon the ratio of mu2 by mu1. Okay, so it is inverse, right? H is inverse to mu, 1 by mu. Okay, so Hn normal component is inverse proportional to mu. So if the it depends upon the permeability ratio, right? So okay, if both of them are having same permeability, if the both mediums are same, that means permeability is same, means both mediums are same. So in such cases, right, the value of field intensity will also be same. Okay, so clear with this point, right? So the division of, or the propagation of normal components will be like this. So Bn1 is equal to Bn2, Hn1 by Hn2 is equal to mu2 by mu1. Okay, right. Next. Sorry. Okay. Now, what about the tangential components, right? What about the tangential components? So for the tangential components, the division will be like this. Okay. So in case of tangential components, right? So firstly, H tan 1 will be equal to H tan 2. That is, right, the field intensity, the tangential components of field intensity will be same. Okay. The field intensity value will be same, right? In both the mediums for the tangential components. Okay, so H tan 1 is equal to H tan 2, and right, the B tan 1, the flux density, right, B tan 1 by B tan 2 is equal to, right, mu 1 by mu 2. Okay, mu 1 by mu 2. So that is, here the mu B tan is directly proportional to mu. Okay, so directly proportional to mu. So therefore, right, higher the permeability, more will be the flux density along the tangential component. Okay, so the normal components will be this. This is about the normal components. Normal components means the components that are passing with an angle 0 from the right, like this. So normal components division will be transfer will be taking place like this. Okay, Bn1 is equal to Bn2, Hn1 by Hn2 is equal to mu2 by mu1. Okay, right, whereas tangential components, in case of tangential components, right, H tan 1 is equal to H tan 2, right, and B tan 1 by B tan 2 is equal to mu 1 by mu 2. Okay, so this is how the field generated in one media can propagate to the other media. Okay, right, in case of magnetic field, right? I think I am clear with this. Okay, so if, right, there are no special cases in case of magnetic field, because magnetic field will behave similar in case of both in case of both electric and in case of both conductors and dielectrics. Yes, the second thing is, okay, the next topic or the next thing that we need to discuss today will be the forces, right? So magnetic forces, okay, or force on the moving charges. So sorry, I'll change the, yeah, so the next topic will be forces on the, right, moving charges, forces on the moving charges. So the next topic will be, right, the next topic that we need to discuss or that we have for today is forces on the moving charges. Okay, right. So okay, so consider a simple case where I have a moving charge. What is meant by moving charge? What do we mean by moving charge? Right, does the charge move on its own? What do we mean by moving charge? Okay, yeah, so moving charge means, right, where here the thing is, right, we are there is a closed loop. Okay, there is a conductor, and right, to this conductor we are forming a closed loop and we are applying some DC current. Okay, so I am applying a DC current, a constant current. So when I apply this, that is when I apply a DC voltage, I'll get DC current. So that means there is a constant velocity, right? There is a constant velocity with which the charges are moving. So moving charges means I have a conducting surface like this. Okay, so let us assume that there are certain charges that are moving in a closed path in like this. Okay, so assume a, right, a setup where we have charges are moving. That means there is a conductor, current carrying conductor present. Okay, yeah, okay, right. Now let us assume that, okay, let us assume that there is another conductor, right? Okay, let us assume that there is another conductor, right, which is also having same, right, which also has moving charges, which also has moving charges. That means the charges are, right, moving with constant velocity. That means I'm applying a DC current. Okay, I'm applying a DC current. So there are two coils, two similar coils. Okay, and let us assume that there is some static charge. Okay, some static charge. That means a charge particle, a point charge or a line charge. Okay, where there is no closed path or there is no application of potential, hence the the charges are at rest. Okay, so there I have considered three particles, right? One is a static charge, right, so where the charges are at rest, right? Second and third is same, okay, a moving coil, right, moving a conductor or current carrying conductor where charges are moving with constant velocity. Okay, yeah, so right, let us assume that this is my right, this is the particular object, or this is the particular conductor where I want to observe the force, right? I want to calculate the force on this because of this and because of this. Okay, right, so what will be the force on this conductor because of the static charge and because of the moving charge? Okay, so because of the static charge and because of the moving charge, so this force will be electrical force and this force will be magnetic force. So the total force will be sum of these two, correct? So what are those two values? Okay, so for that, firstly, right, force due to, right, a point charge, force due to a point charge, as per the Coulomb's law, we have force is equal to, right, F bar is equal to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi r square into AR bar, correct? Okay, or we can simply write it as Q into E bar. If E bar is the electric field produced by this point charge, then F bar is equal to Q into E bar. I can write. So because it is right, electrical force, I am writing it as Fe bar. So first thing is, right, so whenever there is a point charge, because of the point charge, electric field will be produced. This electric field will induce some force or will exert some force onto the, right, coil. Okay, so what is that force? That force is given by Fe bar is equal to Q into E bar. Okay, Fe bar is equal to Q into E bar. Similarly, now this right here, the second coil, this thing is basically a current carrying conductor. So it is a current carrying conductor means it will produce some magnetic field, right? So magnetic field or magnetic flux produced is B bar. If that is the case, right, then the force because of the magnetic field Fm, the force because of the magnetic field Fm is given by Fm is equal to the charge of the, right, the charge that is flowing into the total charge that is flowing through the conductor Q into, right, V bar cross B bar. Okay, right, V bar cross B bar. Okay, so this is a formula, right? This is a formula. We can derive this formula, but it is not right required for us, so we have written directly, right? So the magnetic force in the same way like this, right? We got this from Coulomb's law. It's simple manipulation. Okay, so from the Biot-Savart's law we can get this formula, right? But because we don't have time, so let us write it directly. So Fm is equal to Q bar into V bar cross B bar. Okay, what is V bar? V bar is the velocity with which the charge particles are moving. Okay, V bar is the velocity with which the charge particles are moving. B bar is the flux density that is produced. Okay, B bar is the flux density produced by the coil. Okay, so therefore Fm will be equal to, right, Q bar into V bar cross B bar. Okay, so these are the two. Now, right, if I take the total, right, because of both there is a force because of both, so F bar, the total F bar is equal to, if I take Q as common, right, E bar plus V bar cross B bar. Correct, right? The final equation that I get, right, the force on the moving charge, the force on the moving charge is given by F bar is equal to Q into, right, Q into what I get, first case is E bar, second case is V bar cross B bar, V bar cross B bar. Okay, right? So this equation, right, this equation is called as the force equation, which is also called as Lorentz equation, right? Lorentz equation of the force, right? So right, this is of this equation is of very much useful for us in future purpose. That's why I took up this particular part, right? The Lorentz equation is very useful for us when we are dealing with EM waves. Okay, right? So the point that we need to understand is, okay, so there is a moving charge, right? How can a charge move? Right, whenever there is a current carrying conductor. Okay, if there is a current carrying conductor, then the charges will be in motion. Okay, now what is the force on this? Because of the combined electric and magnetic fields, right? So when both electric field and magnetic field are both present, then what is the force present on this particular point, and how does that force behave? This is what we are going to study. Okay, mathematically this is the thing. What is the significance? I will tell you, right? Okay, so when I get when I take a static charge, I will get electric field. So that electric field will exert some force, correct? So that force is given by Fe is equal to Q into E bar. Okay, Q into E bar. So Q is the charge, E bar is the electric field intensity produced by this material, right? Next, similarly, if I take the current carrying conductor, it will produce magnetic field. 1 second. Yeah. So if I take this current carrying conductor, right, this current carrying conductor will produce a magnetic field. So the force produced by that magnetic field is Fm is equal to Q bar into V bar cross B bar. Correct? Now because this is a moving charge, if the charge is not moving, right, what will happen if I take a static charge here, right? Okay, so if the charge is a static charge, right, then the force felt because of the magnetic field will be 0. Remember that point. Okay, Fm will be 0 if this charge is a static charge, right? So this we have to consider only moving charges. Okay, so whenever the charges are moving, right, then this equation will hold good. If the charge is not in motion, then Fm will be equal to 0. Okay, so therefore the total force F bar is equal to this plus this. So this is Q into E bar and this is Q bar into V bar cross B bar. Okay, so therefore the total force equation is equal to, right, Q into E bar plus V bar cross B bar, right? V bar cross B bar. So V bar is the velocity, right? V bar is the velocity vector, right? B bar is the flux density, E bar is the electric field intensity, right? So this equation is called as Lorentz force equation. You don't need to remember all these things, right? So remember the point, when both electric field and magnetic field are present, right? Okay, and if the charge whatever that is there on which the force is to be calculated, if the charge is static, then only electric field will be taken into consideration, right? Okay, so a magnetic field does not affect the charges that are at rest. Okay, so even if you put a charge near a magnet or near a current carrying conductor, there will be no effect on that particular charge. Okay, so magnetic force does not act on static charges. Remember this point clearly. Okay, right? So okay, but if the charge is in motion, then in that case electric field and magnetic field both will have its impact on the conductor, and because of that a combined force will be produced, right? And that force will be like this. Okay, so right, the F bar is equal to Q into E bar plus, right, this thing. So we right, this equation is called as Lorentz equation. Okay, clear with this? Understood? Right? So what is the this particular equation, what is the significance, right? Okay, or where do we use this thing, right? This particular thing is used in all the right, turbines or generators, right? The force generation, even in our fans, coils, everything, right? So we have the modification of this equation, which is called as Faraday's law, induction, Faraday's law of induction, right? So this equation will give the combined action of right, electric and magnetic forces, right? So just write down one problem on this force. Okay, I hope you have understood, right? So just note down, just try to do one problem on this. Yeah, write down a problem. I hope I'm right, able to reach to you. Okay, yeah, write down a problem. So a point charge of Q is equal to minus 1.2 coulombs. Q is equal to minus 1.2 coulombs has a velocity V bar, equal to, is equal to 5ax plus 2ay minus 3az. Okay, find the force excited on the charge. Find the force exerted on the charge due to E bar is equal to, due to first case, E bar is equal to minus 18ax plus 6ay plus 3az Okay, second case, due to second case, B bar is equal to 5ax minus 2ay plus 4az. And third, both E bar and B bar. Okay. So this is a simple problem. Q is equal to the charge of the conducting material is given, right? So Q is equal to minus 1.2 coulombs is given, right? V bar is given, that is the velocity vector is given. Now we need to find out the force. due to first only electric field, only magnetic field, and a combination of both. Okay, so in this case the force equation will be F is equal to Q into E bar. In this case F is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar, right? And in the last case it will be addition of these two. Okay, so this is the thing with right, forces in the magnetic field. Okay, force on a moving charge.